So, ito na yung tinatawag nila na 4 pillars of the relationship. Yung pinush ko talaga siya na gumawa ka. I wanna see you, make an effort din because this is our relationship. Wala na masyadong, kasi ganito siya. Diba? Wala naman reason. Very professional lang ang atake namin kung bakit nag-fail yung previous relationship. So, basically, ang ingay ng uwak. So, you can only attach a maximum of 100 documents. Yung nalagay ko 49. Yung ginawa ko is still under my immigration account. For my partner as the sponsor, in-apply ko siya as iba, hindi under me. Tas dun ko in-attach yung documents niya sa side niya. Pagka-save mo ng application na yun, yung kung saan fill up mo yung mga details, pagka-save mo nun, automatic i-refer ka na nila kung saan ka mag-upload ng mga requirements mo. Super dali lang niya guys kasi break down na nila according to the requirements that they are going to request from you. So ito siya. So birth or age evidences. So yan. Social aspects of the relationship na evidence. Residential evidence. Financial aspects. Travel documents. Previous relationships, evidence of de facto, ito yung sa mga witnesses, supporting statement, IDs, bridging visa, ito yung nag-apply ako ng bridging visa B to travel outside while waiting for my visa. Ito other documents, tignan natin to. Nature of couple's household na evidence, mutual commitment to each other, character history. So ito NBI to from the Philippines, kumuha ako, and ito police clearance ko. Dito naman to sa Australia, yung police check. So if you're going to go through all that, pagka-drop down mo niyan, makikita mo na agad na, what's under, let's say, birth or age na evidence. So, baptismal certificate, birth certificate. Meron siyang list of documents under this specific requirement kung anong pwede mong i-attach dito. Sa social aspects naman, again, may document type sila na ibibigay sa'yo kung anong pwede mong i-attach. Sinabi dito photographs. So, from, all our mga photos namin together from the time we started our relationship up to the present time. So yan, mga joint invitations, holiday bookings, and event tickets. So yung mga staycations namin, yung mga activities namin na may mga tickets, yun, in-attach ko yun. Travel itinerary, kasi nakabook na kami ng flight namin to the Philippines noon. So in-add namin siya. At least, makita ng immigration na, they have plans. They're going to the Philippines together. So yeah, yun yung mga nilagay namin. Record of social events and activities. So mga social media posts from Instagram, Facebook, yan. Talagang iniisa-isa ko at inattach ko sila lahat dito. Statutory declaration of social aspects, social. Ang naka-tricky lang din dito is, hindi siya for super big files. So, may times na itong photograph, diba? Ang dami ng photographs. So, dinivide ko siya. So, may ginawa akong photograph from October 2023 to December 2023. Tapos, nag-upload ako ulit ng another file. Kasi may maximum limit na siya. Tapos, hindi siya super laki. So, from January to June 2024. Tapos, July to October 2024. Yun. Parang biniyak ko siya. Kasi hindi siya ma-upload pag super big file. May limit siya. Financial aspects of the relationship. So, financial statement, yung sa joint account namin, household bills and expenses, yung mga grocery receipts, oh my gosh, very important, yung mga furniture shopping namin sa IKEA. Before lahat, nilagay ko any resibo na you're paying together, ilagay nyo yan. Mga gifts namin to each other. So, just a photo of the gifts na ito yung bigay ko sa kanya nung birthday niya. Ito yung bigay niya sa akin nung birthday ko. Christmas gifts, anniversary gifts, yung mga ganyan, and other purchases. So, yan. comply ako ng mga ganyan. In-attach ko talaga. Travel document, ito passport ko, previous relationship. So, I have kids, right? Hindi naman super required. Kasi, yung previous relationship is yung pag ikaw na annul ka or my divorce certificate, dito mo ilalagay. But for me, in my case, I was never married. But to prove the immigration, I was never married. Talagang, kumuha ako ng SENOMAR, yung Certificate of No Marriage in the Philippines. So, nilagay ko dito na proof of no marriage. Kasi I have kids already. So, para lang ma-clear na, okay, I have kids but I was never married. So, ito, nilagay ko siya. Evidence of de facto relationship. So, yung certificate namin sa civil partnership. Form 888, ito yung mga witnesses ko. National identity document other than passport. Ito, national ID card ko sa Philippines. Bridging visa. Nung kumuha ko ng bridging visa, B, para maka-uwi ako ng Pilipinas while waiting for the temporary visa grant, nag-submit din ako ng mga requirements. So, ito, nilagay pala nila dito. Other documents, statement of service, ito, certificate of employment ko ito na I'm working here. Couples household, so my statutory declaration din kami about this. Statement regarding housework responsibilities. And yung relationship development statement, tax document, so tax assessment notice lang din. Before, nag-rent pa kasi kami, so letter or statement from landlord, general tenancy agreement, yung contract namin before, telephone bill. Yung telephone bill, ito, nag-extra mile na naman ako dito, ha. Alam ko, for sure, nag-extra mile ako dito. Telephone bill, alam nyo ba, na from the time na nag-start kami ng relationship, hinighlight ko lahat ng mga phone calls, phone messages for a year. Hinighlight ko yung number niya at minutes ng mga tawag namin, mga number of times na nag-text message kami for a day. From the time we started up to the day na in-upload ko to, hinighlight ko yun. Imagine, ang dami guys, for 1 year talaga. Nature of couples, mutual commitment to each other. So, record of contact while apart. So, nung umuwi ako ng Pilipinas, saan kami nag-contact? Sa FB Messenger. So, lahat ng messages, not lahat, but yung mga important, stuff lang. Siguro, yung ginawa kong rule is per month, kailangan may 10 screenshots ako. So, 10 screenshots per month, yun. And yung time na sa FB kami messenger nagko-contact kasi nasa Pilipinas ako, yun nilagay ko. Text messages namin, ito, kinumpile ko din siya, pinidf ko siya. Statement regarding future plans. So, yung future plans namin, pinastat deck namin. Statutory declaration of yung mutual commitment to each other. Also, ito, isa sa pinaka-important na kasi for us, diba, for a year, hindi naman kami over nag-share na agad ng everything. So, what's the big thing na ma-prove nyo na you are really sharing something together? So, isa doon is your superannuation. So, yung ginawa ko is, I added him to my superannuation as my, beneficiary, and that is binding. So, whatever happens to me, may matatanggap siya from me, as well as my kids. So, even na yan sila. Sa side din naman niya, dun, beneficiary din niya ako. So, me and his kids may matatanggap if ever, shinare namin dun na, we are each other's beneficiary sa superannuation namin. Ito bahay niya, but sa kanya to even before pa nagkakami. But we're sharing the bills here, we're sharing everything. NBI. So, kung may access ka to getting NBI clearance in the Philippines or kung may makakapag-get ng NBI clearance mo on your behalf, gawin mo yan kasi it's very mahal yung postage. Alam mo ba yung pinadala kong cash, 220, hindi umabot ng 300. Pero yung bayad ko papuntang Philippines to post my, kasi dito ko lang siya sa consul ko lang siya in-apply, 100 plus something. So, super mahal ng postage fee compared to actually getting the NBI clearance. So if you have someone na pwedeng tumulong sa'yo, or kung uuwi ka ng Pilipinas, kumuha ka na ng NBI clearance para makapag-save ka. Kasi mura lang. Although pipila ka, but super mahal pag pinost mo siya. Tapos mag-wait ka pa ng 1 month na ma-receive mo ulit. Yun yung ginawa ko. Kasi di ko alam, or late ko na na-realize na, oh, I need pala NBI clearance sa Philippines. Hindi lang pala dito sa Australia. And also, police check dito sa Australia. So, yan. Yan yung mga in-attach ko. I'm not sure if this will make sense again. Kasi chika lang ako ng chika. But hopefully, wala akong na-miss. So, bakit ako kumuha ng Bridging Visa B? Kasi, pagka-lodge ng visa mo, ng partner visa, yung Bridging Visa mo lang is Bridging Visa A. So, that's no travel. You're not allowed to travel outside of Australia. Well, makakapag-travel ka, but hindi ka na pwedeng makabalik. So, in order for you to travel outside Australia and then come back, na walang problema, you need to have a Bridging Visa B. So, yung sinabit ng partner ko, same lang. So, lesser sa kanya, yung 4-pillar statement, statutory declaration, extension yun, nung finilapan kong form. Police check, ito Australian. But yung purpose nito, pagkuha ninyo na Australian police check for immigration purposes, may reason yun eh, iba't iba, for employment, ganyan. But ito, for specific immigration. Birth and baptismal certificate niya na translated to English. Yung POV niya, yung relationship development namin statement, statutory declaration din yan. Australian citizenship, Medicare card, superannuation din niya to prove na beneficiary niya ako, passport, old and new driver's license. Kasi yung driver's license niya na expire, so parang in-update niya lang yung ID niya. So, old and renewed driver's license. Tumawag ako sa IMI, may isang sinabi sila na o dapat pag wala ka sa Australia, let's say more than a week, kailangan mong i-update ang address mo para malaman namin kung saan ka currently. So, ito pala yung address, residential address update, Form 929. So, nung pumunta kami ng Cebu, 3 weeks kasi yun. So, in-update namin yung address namin sa IMI account para malaman lang nila, oh, nandito kami hanggang ganito. Okay. So, pagkabalik namin ng Australia, in-update na naman namin sa address namin na para malaman nila na nakabalik na kami. Kung magta-travel ha. Diba, I have kids there in Cebu. Yung time na nilodge ko yung application na to, hindi ko pa sila isasabay kasi wala sila dito sa Australia. Dineclare ko sila. So, nakikita ko yung name nila as non-migrating family members, but nandito sila sa application. So, yun yung sinabi ko before na if you're like me na may kids na wala dito sa Australia, but plan mong include sila later on, gawin mo yun. Kasi by the time na ready sila, eto makikita mo sila. So, nakikita ko yung name nila under my name as well and under my partner's name. But, no further action required. Yun lang yung sabi dito. Iba na namang process to if I ever, get a visa for them. So, yeah, hindi na lang kami kumuha ng agent because ang maganda kasi is, pagka-create mo ng IMI account, i-try mo siyang i-apply. As long as hindi mo lang siya i-lodge, pwede mo siyang ma-save and then ma-check muna, ma-review. Yun. So, pagka-check namin na, okay, details ko lang needed dito. Okay, details lang ng partner ko yung needed dito. Wala naman kasi kaming kinailangan from another person or like from an agent na ma-use namin for our application. Basically, it's my details lang, tas details ng partner ko, documents niya na kailangan niyang i-attach, and documents ko na kailangan ko i-attach. Nung chinek namin lahat, so far, achievable na i-DIY lang. Kaya nakapag-decide kami ng DIY. Kasi that time then, when we inquired kung magkano yung agent, nasa $4,000 sila that time. Yan yung pinakamura ha. Others, they have 5,000, 6,000, minsan ka umabot na 7,000. I'm not sure magkano na ngayon. Partner visa alone that time was $9,100 already. Aside from registering your relationship, medical fee, other fees, yung police check, but lahat ng bago yan. So, a minimum of $10,000 talaga yung gastos. If mag-add pa kami ng 4,000, oh my gosh, over na yung gastos. Ang mahal ng visa na to talaga. So, kailangan i-sure mo na ma-comply mo lahat. Hindi na nga kami naging excited kung kailan ibibigay yung visa, ganyan. We're just going along, you know. Understand namin na ang daming applications, hindi kami priority, but as long as for us, sinabit siya ng maayos, very honest, nag-comply kami sa lahat ng requirements. If they need more, we are ready to do it. Wait lang kami. So, yan yung nangyari. And ang naging maganda lang din sa amin is we were able to prepare ahead. Like, yung visa ko kasi, student visa ko before, mag-expire siya November 1 of 2024. So, from July 2024, nag-prepare na kami. So, we did not feel, you know, rushed. Naging maigi yung pag-prepare namin ng documents, especially ng statements namin, hindi namin minadali. We were able to review, proofread. Before namin pinapirmahan sa JP, and yeah, hindi rushed. Yung NBI clearance ko, kumuha ako July. So, meron pa akong ilang months to wait. Dumating siya August. So, still a long way to go. And isa sa reason na hindi din kami nag-rush is because even if, let's say for example, nag-lodge kami ng July 2024 pero yung student visa ko November 1 of 2024 pa ma-expire. Hindi ko naman agad-agad magagamit yung bridging visa ko sa partners kasi your current visa needs to expire muna bago mag-take effect yung partner visa. So, there's no point rushing din that time. So, hinintay lang namin. Nag-lodge kami ng partner visa, I think 1 week before ma-expire yung student visa ko. Para hindi na mataas yung wait. Kasi there's no point. Hindi ka naman magiging bridging visa automatically kasi may student visa ka pang kailangan mong ubusin. So, yun. So, yeah. And after that, by November 2, dun na magte-take effect yung bridging visa ko sa partner. So, dun, from November 2, you know, nakapag-work na ako full-time and wala ng conditions talaga. I'm able to work full-time. If I want to study, I can study. Hindi na siya, for sure hindi na siya, hindi ko pa na-inquire, but for sure hindi na siya international, right? Domestic fees na lang yung babayaran ko. And may Medicare card na ako. Hindi ko na nafe-feel yung pagiging isang student before na kaya ko pang mag-work but hindi na pwede. Ngayon, kaya ko nang mag-rest. Kasi I'm able to reach my hours of work na yung gusto ko talaga. Opposite na siya. Nababalance ko na talaga ngayon yung work life. Tas financial as well. It's really, really a big help. So yun. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate and I am thankful to all my subscribers, to all the viewers for watching my vlogs. You know, from my first vlog nung nag-process ako ng international student visa dito sa Australia, hindi ko talaga in-expect, never ko na-imagine na, you know, mapupunta ako sa ganito. Never naman tong naging part ng GTE ko. You know what, it's just amazing ba na kahit anong plano mo sa life mo, hindi mo pa rin talaga pwedeng masway yung plans ni Lord for you. Plan ka lang, just start whatever you can start, and then may plano din si Lord for you. Start ka lang, kasi pag nag-continue ka, parang may plans along the way si Lord for you. Kahit saang direction mo man gustong pumunta. And I never really, you know, all I wanted was to move abroad, better future for the family. And now I'm blessed with, you know, partner. It's really amazing how God works ba sa life. As long as you don't stop, as long as you don't give up. So, iba-iba naman tayo ng, iba-iba naman tayo ng life. Iba-iba tayo ng challenges, struggles. But, you know, sometimes sa super busy natin, living our lives, doing things, achieving our goals, we forget to thank God of how He has blessed us na din pala, na napakadami na din pala. So, it's one of those things na I'm really thankful na hindi ko inasahan, but I'm super happy. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, for following my YouTube channel, subscribing, following my life. I really hope to see you on the next one. Tama na mga drama. Alright! See you in the next one.